All right, Alfred Teleferro, Mr. Teleferro TV SoundCloud podcast. All right, what's going on, guys? This is something new that we're adding. It's going to be a part of a bigger picture in the near future. I'm looking forward to making an announcement to you guys, but for now, just follow my SoundCloud podcast. It's Mr. Teleferro, of course, everything. And just rock with me. Just rock with me. Just be patient. We have something great coming up in the near future for you guys. Just rock with me, all right? This is going to be a new platform for people to do interviews. I'm going to be doing some interviews, some live interviews with people as well on this platform. So I put it on my YouTube for a few weeks to gain the exposure of it. Try to reach about 20,000 followers on SoundCloud, then we'll move, all right? I think I got like 2 right now. So we're going to keep pushing the envelope on this SoundCloud podcast, so I'll put it up on my YouTube, all right? And if you want to advertise with me, if you want to advertise some music with me, just make sure you hit me up and booking at itsmrteleferro.com. Again, that's booking at itsmrteleferro.com, and you can have your ad placed on the next 5 to 10 SoundCloud podcasts, and we can go from there, all right? Anyway, we're talking the Los Angeles Clippers here. For those who don't know, breaking news, Chris Paul breaks his thumb. Out 68 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. Blake Griffin's already out for an extended period of time. The second consecutive season that Blake Griffin has missed time. And Chris Paul missed some time last year. And this is now pretty much DeAndre Jordan and J.J. Redick and everybody else. So I posed this question to you guys, and we're going to be talking about this throughout the blog. At the end of the season, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul have early termination options. What does that mean? They can opt out of their contracts, which they should, and go get maximum money. You talk about 2 people who get injured a lot. They're injured pretty much every season once for an extended period of time. The last few seasons that's happened, they need to opt out, sign a deal for max money. These are 2 high-caliber players. So the question that we're going to pose and what we're going to talk about throughout this blog, who do you sign? Charles Barkley made an announcement, or he was talking on TNT inside the NBA last night, or the night before last, and he said he wouldn't sign both of these guys. He said, look, love Chris Paul, love Blake Griffin, but the Clippers need to start over. You're not good enough to get out of the Western Conference. That includes the San Antonio Spurs with the LaMarcus Aldridge and a young Kawhi Leonard that's only getting better, and you're damn sure not good and better than the Golden State Warriors, who have Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson locked up, Draymond Green's there, and if they are able to lock up Steph Curry, which we expect this summer, I mean, they're set for the future. For the next 3 to 4 years, they're going to be set. Hell, many will argue that these Clippers are not even better than these James Harden-led Houston Rockets, who are playing phenomenal basketball over the last couple months. So we're talking, and we're just going to go through a couple situations, and I'm going to give y'all my opinion on this. And if I were in the Clippers' shoes, I'm going to tell y'all who I would keep. And we're just going to pretty much have this conversation. First off, let's address this. Do I believe the Los Angeles Clippers can win a championship? No, I do not. Do I believe they can get out of the Western Conference and even get to the finals? No, I do not. For those who don't know, I actually picked the Clippers last year to get out of the Western Conference and make it to the NBA Finals over Golden State, over San Antonio. Yes, I did. The problem was, I still believe Golden State had the roster last year to compete with the big boys in the Western Conference. I just don't think they can sustain health anymore. So I will no longer pick them, even though I think on paper they have a great roster. But I can't pick them anymore, man. They can't stay healthy. I mean, in the playoffs, Blake went down, CP3 went down. I mean, these guys look injury prone, and I'm starting to believe that this Clippers curse is real. Like, these guys for the last couple seasons have had everything in play to make postseason runs, but it always is something with these guys. Was that a couple years ago when the Clippers had Houston down. What was it, like 3-1? And Houston came back and won that bad boy in 7. They haven't been the same since. Have not been the same since. And you talk about this team, it's such a different team. It's kind of hard to figure out what are the flaws, what are the weaknesses of this team. You look around, Chris Paul at point guard. When you think point guard, you think Chris Paul. When you think prototypical point guard whose teammates first but can still score the basketball, knock down threes, not the athlete like a Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook, of course. Not the athlete, but I mean when you think prototypical point guard, you have to think Chris Paul over the last decade and change. Been in the league 11 years now. He's 31 years old. You got Chris Paul at point. You don't have the athletic 2 guard, but you do have shooting. You have J.J. Redick, who's got nothing but better in this league, a guy that I didn't believe would be able to stay around in the NBA, but that I got to give it to that brother. That brother is able to play decent defense, not good, not great, but it's decent enough to keep him on the court as a starter. So at 2 guard, you have J.J. Redick. At 3, you have Luke Mbah-a-Moute, which is, I believe, the position that needs to be addressed. Luke's 30 years old now, 6'8", 230 pounds. And we'll get back to this position. We'll get back to the small forward. We'll get back into it. Let's go Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin expanded his range, developed that 17 to 18-footer, can space the floor a little bit, pass as well, gets a lot of lobs to DeAndre Jordan, one of the best passing big men. I think he's in that same conversation after the Marc Gasols of the world, after the Karl Anthony Towns, who's a decent passer, the Anthony Davises of the world, who's a decent passer. I think Blake Griffin's in that pack as well. He does a great job of passing. You have DeAndre Jordan as well, who's like the prototypical rim protector right now. He's also a great rebounder. He's great on lobs. Can't get his own shot. I've never seen him make a basket out of the paint. But, I mean, he's always there. This year averaging 12.3 points, 13.9 rebounds, and almost 2 blocks a game. I mean, you're in that top 5 defensive player of the year conversation with those stats. Year in and year out. I mean, DeAndre Jordan is there. He's still yet to make an all-star appearance. That might change this year. But what DeAndre Jordan, what he's doing right now, he'll be able to do for the next 5 to 8 years. 28 years of age, he'll be doing this until he's 34, and when his athleticism starts to slow down. But right now, he's in the peak athletically. And I mean, hey, he is what he is. You know what you're getting out of him. I think the problem with him is the fact that you can't keep him on the floor because of his free throws. Now, he's a career 43% free throw percentage. He has a 43% free throw percentage for his career. This year, shooting it about 9% better at 52%, which is improvement. All right, getting to the line about 5 times a game this season, making about 2.5 of those. So, I mean, hey, you talk about DeAndre Jordan, you know what you're getting out of him. Anything inside that arc, you're good money. But when you talk about expanding in any aspect, defending anything, you kind of beating yourself up, kind of stuck. So let's get back to that small forward position. Let's get back to Luke Mbah-a-Moute. I don't think he's it. And Luke is a good defender in this league. But I don't know if he's a good enough defender to outweigh the lack of scoring we get from him. If I could have it my way, I would go out maybe and make a trade at the deadline. This team is committed to keeping Jamal Crawford on the bench. I think the 3 would be too much for him to play anyway. I don't think he has that ability to play the 3. But I think this team is in dire need of some sort of small forward. Somebody threw the option out there of going out and trading, making this decision and trading Blake Griffin, gauging the New York Knicks' interest level, going out and getting a Carmelo Anthony because he would fit with this team better. It's not a bad move. Think about it. Chris Paul and Melo, good friends, off the court. You bring Melo into that situation. I think it flows better from a spacing standpoint between him and Blake Griffin. What are you getting from Blake Griffin? He'll never be able to go to the three-point line with his shot. They've kind of cut out that fast break, up-tempo, lob city. Don't get me wrong, Blake can still catch one, but those explosive dunks that we were seeing a few years ago, Doc Rivers kind of got rid of it. And it's like this. DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin are kind of similar at the rim now. Like, Blake Griffin can space the court with that jumper. But, I mean, hey, man, DeAndre Jordan's definitely a better defender, more agile, better at blocks, and more durable. Doesn't get hurt like that. So, I mean, you can look at it and like that and maybe trade Blake Griffin for Carmelo Anthony. I'm pretty sure the Knicks would want to do that. And I'm pretty sure the Clippers will be possibly interested. Seem very loyal to Blake Griffin. The problem with that comes here. You had Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, and Doc Rivers pull up to DeAndre Jordan's house to sign him a season ago. And it's like, wow, you did all this to keep me and y'all got rid of one of the components. I'll just say this. I don't think they can win. Now, back to Luke Mbah-a-Moute. For those who don't know, the Clippers did go after Kevin Durant in the offseason. They wanted him. I thought it was a good fit. Doc Rivers at coach, respected black coach in the NBA. Point guard that can get Kevin Durant the basketball in the clutch. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. You got to think there has to be a reason why Durant didn't really consider them. I thought it'll be down to the Clippers and maybe the Warriors for Kevin Durant's services. From what I'm being told, he didn't really give the Clippers a real shot. And I'm thinking, what was missing? Did he not get along with Chris Paul in the meeting? Did he not believe Blake and DeAndre Jordan? I don't know. I've heard bad stuff about Blake Griffin around the league, that he's not the greatest person, just not the greatest person. Like, I haven't met him personally, but I've heard things like that in the past. And I'm kind of like, why doesn't that situation make sense? I want to hear your comments on that, most definitely. But I want to know why Kevin Durant wouldn't want to go to the Clippers. Think about that team. The Clippers had to move nothing to sign him. They were good money. Maybe trade away a couple smaller pieces. They could have kept that big three intact. Think about it. Kevin Durant can create his own legacy. Those Golden State Warriors type questions that we have with the team that he's on now, that doesn't happen because he's not joining a team that was a couple plays away from winning an NBA championship. He's joining a team that's the absolute opposite. He goes out to L.A. There was a lot of Laker rumors. I'm told that Kevin Durant at one point in his career thought about joining Russell Westbrook with the Lakers. But think about it. You still get out to that L.A. area. Great for marketing. Great for everything that he has going. To join the Clippers. Was it that negative stigma that comes with joining the Clippers? I don't know. But I think it's something to be said about Kevin Durant not really considering that Clippers team with Jamal Crawford on the bench, a guy who can score. With that lineup, you put Kevin Durant in that lineup right now, and you tell me it ain't deadly. Chris Paul, J.J. Redick, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, and you tell me that doesn't scream Western Conference Finals, NBA championship type run. I wonder, did Kevin Durant have concerns about the Clippers' health? I was thinking Kevin Durant, a guy who wants to get his shots up, we wouldn't have those concerns that we have in Golden State. Is Klay going to get 20 shots tonight? Is Steph going to get 20, 21 shots tonight? I was thinking that would be something that he would want to do, join the Clippers. They need scoring. Blake can give up 4 to 5 shots a game. Chris Paul has shown he's already willing to give up a few shots a game. DeAndre, you know what he is. He gets his shots around the rim. He averages about 7 attempts a game. That's okay. That's better than having to give. You have to consider DeAndre Jordan to like a Draymond Green. And I think that's fine. I think you give up, So DeAndre's averaging 7 shots a game. Let's pull up how many shots Draymond Green is averaging a game. So Draymond Green is averaging about 8.6. So that's like an extra shot and a half for Kevin Durant. Let's go. Let's really dissect this, right? Klay Thompson is averaging the most shots on this Golden State Warrior team right now. He's averaging, let me pull it up for you. He's averaging 17 shots a game right now. Let's compare Klay Thompson to Blake Griffin in shots, because I believe Blake gets the most shots on the Clippers. I could be wrong about that. Let's check it out. Blake Griffin, he's averaging, 16 and a half shots. So that's about another extra shot right there, comparing Klay Thompson and Blake Griffin for Kevin Durant if he had joined the Clippers. Now let's compare Steph Curry and Chris Paul. So Steph Curry is averaging, pull it up here. So Steph Curry is averaging 17 and a half shots. So let's compare Chris Paul to that. So Steph's averaging 17 and a half. So Chris Paul is averaging only 12.3. That's 5 more shots. That's 5 more shots for Kevin Durant. To me, that worked well. I thought that was the move. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But it was something that went wrong in that meeting. It had to be something that didn't interest Kevin Durant. So you talk about this Clippers team. Let's get back into the meat of the things. Who would you keep? Chris Paul or Blake Griffin? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think the NBA is don't get me wrong, you gotta have that talent. But I need personality. I need team leaders. There's been guys in the NBA who don't like Chris Paul, but to me, there's more of a triumphant dislike for Blake Griffin. When you have people like Zach Randolph who call you soft and some of the tough guys who don't got respect for you, I think it means something. I don't think they respect this dude. And I don't know if I could ever invest in Blake Griffin. I would honestly look into that trade. I'm not going to lie to y'all. You hit up New York. Maybe trade deadline. Definitely this offseason. You maybe work out a sign and trade. If Blake opts out. You send him to New York. I'd do it Blake Griffin straight up for Carmelo. We'll have to work out the financial aspects of it, but I think it'll work. I think financially that would work. I would start looking around the league into other options. The Clippers don't have. I think they're missing that tough guy. I don't think it's DeAndre. I just don't think he's a tough guy. Chris Paul is the toughest guy you got, but he's a 6'2", 6'3", he's 6 feet. A 6 feet point guard. Sorry. Gotta be tougher than that. You got to go get a tough guy. You got to go get one of these DeMarre Carroll, Jay Crowder, tough guys. You need one who can still space the floor. We thought we would get that in Paul Pierce, but he just didn't have it. He just didn't have it. What we thought we was getting, we knew he was toward the end of his career, but he really, sheesh. Has he even played a game this season? He's played a couple games this season. He should have went ahead and retired. He just holding himself back 1 year from joining the Hall of Fame. Now he ain't going to be able to join the Hall of Fame with Kevin Durant. That's all he did. Sheesh. Man. But you got to go get one of these tough guys. Let's check the free agent market this year. Restricted free agent, Tim Hardaway, he's about 6'5". He might be a little too small. Gerald Green will be a unrestricted free agent this year. I'm just looking for some tough guys. Maybe not Gerald Green. He hasn't shown the ability to defend. Tony Snell out of Chicago. He might fit a need. Jordan McRae, that's my partner, out of Tennessee. He'll be a restricted free agent. He might fit a need. I'm looking around this league. There's not a lot out there. You might have to go through a trade. Detroit has Caldwell Pope as a restricted free agent. I'm pretty sure they're going to re-sign him. What else is out there, man? I mean, it's just not a lot out there. Not a lot out there this offseason. Thomas Robinson, I don't think he can play the 3. P.J. Harrison, maybe. Tony Allen, maybe. I think he's too, at this time in his life, I don't think he can play the 3. He's predominantly been a 2-guard defender. Deion Waiters, I don't think he's committed to defense. Maybe James Johnson out of Miami, possibly. That's somebody I would look into. Again, I just need more of a lockdown defender at that position. Tayshaun Prince's best years are behind him. It's not a lot out there, man. It's just, I'm gonna be honest with you. Dante Cunningham, Terrence Jones, maybe. Houston has a couple people that'll be free agents. Lance Stevenson will be a free agent, of course. Just hasn't shown the ability to be consistent on defense. Going up and down the league, man, there's just not a lot out there from a defensive standpoint this offseason. Robert Covington from Philly, very interesting guy. Very interesting guy. If I was a team, I would make some calls on him. Been playing for Philly. We'll see if he's about that action or was he just putting up points on a bad team. But he's somebody I definitely make a phone call to. Just not a lot out there, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to have to come through a trade. It's going to have to come through a trade. Gordon Hayward can be out there on the market this year. Is he a good enough defender for you? I don't know. Otto Porter Jr. may be somebody who could fill that role. Restricted free agent for the Wizards. The Wizards probably are going to try to send an offer his way. And if you're the Clippers, do you pay him max money? Because he'll be able to command max money in this market or close to it this offseason if Kent Bazemore was able to do it. I compare Otto Porter Jr. to maybe like a Kent Bazemore. So I probably would roll with Chris Paul. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think I would roll with Chris Paul. I will re-sign him. He's going to want 5 years. I think I said he's 31 right now. I think what he does, because he isn't the athlete like a Blake Griffin, I think he'll hold up pretty good. I mean, Blake Griffin is literally breaking down before us. Remember, he came into the league and had to miss an entire season because he, tore his ACL, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, coming out of Oklahoma. I think I'm cool on Blake. I mean, and you guys are fair to, y'all free to leave y'all comments in the comment box. I don't see how I could build around Blake. What am I getting out of Blake since I got you guys? What am I getting out of Blake? Like, what is the guarantee sale for me as an owner or a GM? When I get Blake Griffin, what can I tell you that I get? He's great at. He's a good mid-range shooter. He used to be a great dunker. Teams got accustomed to playing him better. The dunking fad is not the same. He's not going to catch as many lobs if he isn't with Chris Paul. Chris Paul opened up this lane for him to catch lobs at will at this rate. Remember, before Chris Paul was in Clipperland, who was he catching lobs from? I believe Baron Davis. Baron Davis was the starting point guard of that team. Come on now. I think I'm rolling with Chris Paul. What do you guys think? I'm going to start doing more blogs like this. If you need some kind of advertising for some kind of brand, this is the platform for you to get your phone type brand in. If you want to, whatever it is, we could do it right now, and I could plug you in right here. So Alfred Teleferro, Mr. Teleferro TV, thank y'all for the time, love, and support. The first of many. There'll be some that'll be longer than this and some that'll be shorter than this, all right? This is the platform that I like. We will be having guests on this as well. So get ready for that. I'm going to try to bring some celebrities on, people in the community. We'll see. We'll try to even bring some experts on. Going to have fun with this platform, and we will see. Alfred Teleferro, Mr. Teleferro TV, thank you for the time, love, and support. Salute. I'm out.